Good afternoon, all. Paul from CamelbackTrading.org. Coming to you this Wednesday afternoon, May 21st. We're looking at window traders' market profile of the ES and NQ. Once again, every day is interesting in this market. Fickle traders, fragile traders, they change on a dime. It happened, definitely happened today. I did not trade well at all today, personally. I'll go over most of them. I mean, I had some good trades, but did some silly things. First, let's start off. Look at righty. Righty was 8 for 8 wide, and then go trend down and come out of balance to the downside on the daily. So they go out with a trend day, and they're now down on the daily. NQ goes out with nothing except an outside day down. They only have the day's high and the day's low. They have no single prints, no rally high. They failed trend up, they failed trend down. They do have an outside day down. However, I'm still calling them balanced because earlier today, I called them up. They came out of by the way, it's rare, but you got paid on your inside day up in NQ and down. Pretty rare, right? But I am still going to call them balanced because we took out the balance high, and I was going to call the daily up before the debacle happened from H period on. Now the question is, what's your balance? Well, definitely today's high is the balance high. I'm going to most likely use just today's low. You can use this day's low, which is the 13th, up to you. But I think for now, because I'm in bigger increments, it looks closer than it really is. I'll show you on the chart. I'll use today's high and low basically as our balance. ES is down. ES inside day down initially failed, A, B, C. But then you got paid on it. And they held the trend day down. So they're down on the daily as far as I'm concerned in ES. The market started with gaps lower and a very short overnight, and it immediately corrected with some really good strength, especially in NQ. Now, I did okay. I shorted the gap fill initially in NQ, backed off, I made a little. I shorted the overnight halfback, made a little. Nothing big on either one. Then I took a long I wrote against POC. Give me 1 second. Oh, it was a long to get yesterday's 10 wide POC. Never got it. Took it off for a loss. Okay, nothing bad. I did nothing in B and C. I did nothing. Now, I don't mind B period. I missed A's high. But boy, oh boy, did I miss C period to get the IB high and the overnight high. I was very upset at myself on that. So I did nothing in B and C. I did well in D period. I had some ebb and flow longs, and then I took a long. Well, I took the long to get yesterday's high to come out of the inside day to the upside, and a couple of ebb and flow longs. I was long in E period against some single prints. Also, right, in NQ. Bulls were in control now. Value had gone unchanged. Actually, it might have been overlapping a higher by that point. Oh, no, that might have been an F and G. But value was being pulled up. Overnight high. IB high. Above the opening. Trend day up. This is pretty positive. The bulls are trying to break out of this balance up. Then G, same thing, did well on a couple of longs and actually took a long. Well, I got fortunate. I took a long to get the overnight POC. That's our monthly high from the 20th. Didn't get it, but I made okay. Then in H period, we pulled back. And I got hurt. My fault. Stayed in it way too long. I know everybody's going to say it was because of the bond auction. That's fine. Again, that's fine. For my money's worth, I like to say, well, ES couldn't get the overnight high or even their 10 wide POC from yesterday. And NQ, even though I said they got through the balance high and they went up, they couldn't get something as simple as the overnight monthly high from the 20th. Little nuances. regardless of what it was, I got hurt really bad in H period. I did try to get a bunch of it back, but there was a lot of damage done. I did take the short, not to get the IB low, but to get the overnight low. I got that. Oh, wait, timeout. I apologize. First, I took a short in ES to get the overnight low in H. Then I shorted NQ to get both the IB low and the overnight low. I did really well on them, but I really got hurt on the long in H. So even though I took back a lot, I got hurt. Yeah, good. I lost on the day. And then after H, I did nothing in I. J period, I took a short against some ebb and flow. I actually took a long in K, and we did stop the one-time framing, but briefly. That would have been a great short, actually. And then in L period, what did I take? I took an ebb and flow short in L period. And that was it. So, unfortunately, on that pullback, I did it in a couple of different accounts and got hurt. Really, really bad. Anyway, my fault, right? It doesn't matter what the reason is. To me, that means nothing. I just thought the ammo was very strong for the bulls, and I didn't think we were going to, have whatever it was, a $5 time frame, whatever, in H period. But we did. So tomorrow we get back up on the horse and we go again. Plus we had basically opening test drives up. So there's a lot. So to show you how drastically the day changed, we talk about our checklist sheet. So in G period, okay, in G period, in NQ, the Bulls had a 7-0 lead on our checklist sheet. The odds of giving that all up aren't that good. Well, we went from 7-0 Bulls, it closed 6-2 Bears. Huge turnaround. Even ES was not as good. It was only 4-1 Bulls because they couldn't get the overnight high, which hurt them. Ended up 8-1 Bears. Now again, the checklist is just a guide, and it encompasses a lot of different things. The overnights, the IBs, POC razor low, gaps, value, indices. There's a lot. And it's only a guide. However, when it's that strong, it's rare to have that kind of reversal like NQ had. But it did. So that's that. Again, if I was to add up all the trades I took, right, the percentage of winners is very good, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because H's loss was huge. Well, it was big. Okay? So, again, it's been rare. I've been fortunate. So, we'll get back up on the horse, like I said. Go at it again tomorrow. Now, I want to show you the charts. I said the other day I wouldn't mind if, first let's do the weekly. Here's ES. The weekly is up. We're still in the weekly gap, which rarely hold. Now, with 2 days to go, if the selling does continue, then you have to worry about taking out both sides of last week's high and low. That's a danger. However, last week's low is 577.04 in SPY. Look at the 200-day moving average, 575.14. Remember I said it would be kind of healthy to test that and then go and try to get all-time highs rather than just go straight up? Maybe they're going to do that. I can tell you one thing, it's going to be interesting because If we take out last week's low and then get below the 200 and have an outside week down, things could change dramatically going into next week. Okay? So if I was a bull, first I want to see last week's low hold. And number two, if it doesn't hold, I don't want to see us. Again, it wouldn't be one day doesn't make a market, but you wouldn't want to say, for argument's sake, have a potential outside week down and close below the 200. That you wouldn't want to see. Okay? The volume is 93.5 million. So the volume is pretty good. In fact, we have a chance to get into the top 10. 95.3 million is our 10th highest volume. So with the after hours, we do have a chance in ES and SPY to get into that. Triple Qs. So here's your daily. Again, that's why I'm calling this balance. Today's high and low is the balance. I'm not going to use this low. Okay? It's still, that daily low is 0842. Today's low is 11. That's $3 above that. You can, again, it's subjective. You want to use that low, I don't have a problem with it. But if we take out today's low tomorrow, I'd probably call it down. Okay? Look at Triple Q's volume. It's 70.5 million. The average is 44 million. So, out of nowhere, volume appeared today. Was a lot of it in the afternoon? Yeah, it was. So the bulls are going to have to do some soul searching. Again, I don't mind the pullback. I don't like the way it happened after NQ went up on the daily in the morning and then did that. ES was a little different. ES never got near yesterday's high. So that one I could live with. I'm not happy with NQ, even though they didn't even hold trend down. So these next couple of days, I think, are going to be fairly important to see what this market does as far as, do we start testing below, say, this daily low from May 12th? If we do, it could get interesting. Or do we attempt to go back and take out the balance high? I hope you had a good day trading. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing to this channel. Enjoy your evening, and we'll speak prior to the opening tomorrow.